It's the first direct clash between Prime Minister Modi and Rahul Gandhi of the Congress Party. Remember, so far, the two have avoided taking each other on too directly. Rahul Gandhi, of course, has been doing that to avoid a presidential-style clash of personalities this election. The Congress's priority has been to try and keep it on issues. But today, a kind of vintage Rahul Gandhi came out, eliciting a vintage Modi. A heated exchange erupted today following Rahul Gandhi's visceral attack on Prime Minister Modi, and I'll show that to you in just a moment. Rahul Gandhi claimed Modi dar gaya. Modi is scared, for which Modi retaliated to Rahul's remark, accusing the Namdars, meaning dynasts, of being rattled and resorting to cheap, disrespectful abuse. Modi asserted that Kamdars, meaning those who work, will continue to do what they do despite the insults. The fiery exchange between the two has escalated into a high-voltage clash, prompting questions about whether Modi and Rahul are making this war personal.
जैसे ही मैंने ये देश के एक्सरे की बात की, वो नरेंद्र मोदी कांपने लग गया। जैसे ही मैंने, उसकी आदत है, जैसे उसको डर लगता है ना, वो झूठ बोलना शुरू कर देता है। जैसे ही उसको डर लगता है, वो कभी पाकिस्तान की बात करेगा, कभी चाइना की बात करेगा, तो एक के बाद एक, एक के बाद एक, एक के बाद एक झूठ बोल रहा है, मगर इस बार नहीं निकल पाएगा।
कांग्रेस के शहजादे इतने चिंतित है कि आए दिन उनको मोदी का अपमान करने में मजा आता है। बहुत सारे लोग चिंता जताते हैं कि भाई ये भाषा अच्छी नहीं है। ऐसी भाषा देश के प्रधानमंत्री के लिए बोलना ठीक नहीं है। आपको पता है, वे नामदार है, हम तो कामदार हैं, और नामदार तो कामदार को सदियों से ऐसे ही गाली गलौज करते आए हुए हैं। मैं तो आप में से आता हूं, गरीबी से निकला हूं। अगर 5-50 गालियां पड़ जाएगी तो पड़ जाएगी, आप गुस्सा मत कीजिए।
Well, from the Congress manifesto reeking of the Muslim League to the grand old party attempting to snatch property, all allegations, the Prime Minister has been relentless in his attacks this election season, hitting back. Rahul Gandhi has also kept up with his attack. Take a look at this.
सबसे पहले कहते हैं कि इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड से हिंदुस्तान में जो भ्रष्टाचार है वो खत्म होगा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा भैया ये तो कानूनी नहीं है, इसको रद्द करो, और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उनकी स्कीम को रद्द कर दिया।
आपकी कमाई का आधे से ज्यादा कांग्रेस अगर सरकार में आती है तो ये सरकार छीन लेंगी, और इसलिए कांग्रेस आप पर इनहेरिटेंस टैक्स, आपकी विरासत पर टैक्स लगाना चाहती है।
मैनिफेस्टो आपको अच्छा लगा? आपने देखा होगा कि प्रधानमंत्री पैनिक कर गए हैं। हाँ, बिल्कुल हिल गए, घबरा गए। क्रांतिकारी मैनिफेस्टो।
कांग्रेस कुर्सी के लिए छटपटा रही है, और कुर्सी पाने के लिए भांति भांति के खेल खेल रही है। देश के कोटि कोटि नागरिकों के आंखों में धूल झोंककर सत्ता हथियाने के लिए आपके भविष्य को बर्बाद करने पर तुली हुई है।
तरफ बीजेपी और आरएसएस जो लोकतंत्र को खत्म करने की कोशिश कर रही है और संविधान को नष्ट कर रही है, और दूसरी तरफ कांग्रेस पार्टी और इंडिया अलायंस जो संविधान को और लोकतंत्र को बचा रही है। हमने क्रांतिकारी मैनिफेस्टो बनाया है, ये आपका मैनिफेस्टो है। कांग्रेस पार्टी ने बनाया है मगर आवाज आपकी है। 5 गारंटीज दी हैं हमने। नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने 22-25 लोगों को अरबपति बनाया, हम करोड़ों महिलाओं और युवाओं को लाखपति बनाने जा रहे हैं।
आजकल इस शाही परिवार के शाहजादे पूरे देश में बढ़ चढ़कर के कह रहे हैं, अब आपकी संपत्ति का एक्सरे होगा, एक्सरे। मंगलसूत्र हो, छोटा मोटा सोना चांदी का गहना हो, इसे पवित्र माना जाता है। कांग्रेस उसे जब्त करके अपनी वोट बैंक मजबूत करने के लिए उसे बांटने की सार्वजनिक घोषणा कर रही है, मैनिफेस्टो में बता रही है।
So what we just played out for you are a number of issues on which Prime Minister Modi and Rahul Gandhi have squared off on directly in the last few days. Let's bring in now on this broadcast Maushmi Singh as well as Piyush Mishra. Maushmi, to you first. You track the Congress very, very closely. And for the Congress right now, the challenge is going to be in really countering the Prime Minister and the narrative that he's created at every single rally now that he's attended since the last few days through the week. He's highlighted the Congress manifesto. He's talking about how the Congress is planning to snatch away Mangalsutra, take away wealth of people. Now, to counter this narrative, it looks like now Rahul Gandhi is also stepping up.
Akshita, right from the start, earlier the Congress was really upbeat about the fact that the Prime Minister had slammed the Congress and started talking about the Congress's manifesto. But it seems that the attack is unabated, one after the other, from Muslim League to the Mangalsutra, and now talking about the wealth tax over what Sam Pitroda has said. Clearly, this entire issue is spiraling into a war of words, and none other than you've seen Rahul Gandhi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi giving an attack and counter-attack. Yesterday, Rahul Gandhi responded to a dig of Prime Minister Narendra Modi day before yesterday, where he said that the Shehzada will do an X-ray of your entire wealth. And Rahul Gandhi yesterday said, I was talking about the X-ray of injustice. So this time round, the Congress's counter-attack is coming quick and fast, because there is a larger sense that is prevailing that we cannot just understand and continue to listen to the tirade of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, thinking that it's earning us some brownie points because the Congress's manifesto is being discussed, and it might have flustered the BJP. On the other hand, now the larger sense in the Congress is that we will have to build a counter narrative. We will have to talk about it in the rallies, because many voters would believe what the Prime Minister is saying. Yep. So it has to go down to ground zero, that this is not what a manifesto promises.
And that's why, you've had Mallikarjun Kharge now saying that I want to meet with the Prime Minister to show him a manifesto and show what it actually says. I want to bring in Piyush Mishra on this broadcast. He's joining us live from Dausa in Rajasthan. Piyush, a large part of the Prime Minister's campaign in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, has been focused on the second phase, voting happening tomorrow, even in the seat that you're in Dausa. And largely also there's, a belief that the Prime Minister has put the focus on the Congress manifesto, on saying that, a vote bank will be catered to by the Congress to counter the caste census narrative of the India bloc of the Congress.
Well, certainly, Akshata. Remember that soon after the first phase of voting ended, we saw the aggressive tone being adopted by Prime Minister, where he first attacked the Congress party for doing the appeasement politics, where he quoted the statement allegedly which was made by Dr. Manmohan Singh, in which he had mentioned that the first rights on the country's wealth is of minorities, following which we had seen how the Congress party had come out and slammed that particular statement, saying that nothing of this sort was said by Dr. Manmohan Singh. But at the same time, Prime Minister had also said that there will be a wealth redistribution and the jewelry of women of this nation will be distributed among the minorities. That too was also countered by the Congress party, saying that no, nothing of this is mentioned in our manifesto. But now we are seeing allegations versus counter allegations. Personal attacks being made by both the sides. Yesterday it was Rahul Gandhi. BJP alleges that Rahul Gandhi used insulting language for Prime Minister. Now Prime Minister has hit back at him, saying that they are Namdar, we are Kamdar. Akshata.
All right, Piyush and Maushmi, thanks very much for getting us those details. Now, another big political war that's broken out between the BJP and the Congress, which again the Prime Minister has been leading for the BJP, has been on inheritance tax. Kicked off, of course, with Sam Pitroda, the Congress Overseas Chief's comments, where he spoke about the United States having inheritance tax. And since then, there have been questions about whether the Congress endorses it. Prime Minister Modi is lashed out at the Congress over this. And today, adding a whole new layer to this controversy, said that the reason Rajiv Gandhi had actually abolished inheritance tax was because he wanted to get hold of the assets of his mother, Indira Gandhi. All the details in our next report.
मृत्यु के बाद भी आपकी जो बची हुई संपत्ति है, जो स्वाभाविक रूप से आपके बेटे बेटी को मिलनी चाहिए, वो भी आप नहीं दे पाओगे।
Congress inheritance tax showdown explodes.
3 करोड़
Prime Minister Narendra Modi goes all guns blazing against Congress, accusing it of trying to impose punishing tax on Indians even after death in form of inheritance duty. Modi dropped a bombshell accusing the Gandhi family of abolishing the inheritance tax in 1985 to evade paying tax on Indira's vast wealth after her death.
अपनी माता इंदिरा गांधी से मिले हुए पैसों को बचाने के लिए उस समय के प्रधानमंत्री श्रीमान राजीव गांधी ने अपनी संपत्ति बचाने के लिए पहले जो इनहेरिटेंस कानून था उसको समाप्त किया और खुद के पैसे बचा लिए। अब वहां मामला निपट गया तो आज फिर सत्ता पाने के लालच में ये लोग वही कानून ज्यादा कड़ाई से वापस लाना चाहते हैं।
BJP too rushed to target the Gandhis, saying that Rajiv Gandhi got the inheritance tax scrapped to enable Rahul, Priyanka and Varun Gandhi inherit Indira's wealth without paying tax.
ऑफिशियली कहते हैं आपकी कमाई का आधे से ज्यादा कांग्रेस अगर सरकार में आती है तो ये सरकार छीन लेगी और इसलिए कांग्रेस आप पर इनहेरिटेंस टैक्स, आपकी विरासत पर टैक्स लगाना चाहती है।
कांग्रेस जिसने देश के संसाधनों को लगभग 60-65 वर्षों तक लूटा, अब उसकी नियत लोगों की, आम जनता की संपत्ति पर लगी हुई है और आम जनता की संपत्ति पर लगे होने के कारण ही अब वह इस विरासत टैक्स की बात कर रहा है और फिर इसको बांटेगा उन लोगों को जो घुसपैठिए हैं।
Congress has rejected BJP charges of planning to tax inheritances. Party chief Mallikarjun Kharge wrote to Modi offering to educate him on Congress manifesto.
विरासत कर हमारे एजेंडा में नहीं है। प्रधानमंत्री कहते हैं कि इस न्याय पत्र में धन पुनर्वितरण की बात होती है। मैं उनको चुनौती देता हूं। हमारे 50 पेज है ये मैनिफेस्टो, ये न्याय पत्र, इसमें एक शब्द हमने इस्तेमाल नहीं किया है जो कहता है वेल्थ रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन।
Amid the face-off, Modi hit back at Rahul Gandhi for his Dar Gaya jibe, saying Namdas are out to target Kamdas.
उसकी आदत है, जैसे उसको डर लगता है ना, वो झूठ बोलना शुरू कर देता है। जैसे ही उसको डर लगता है वो कभी पाकिस्तान की बात करेगा, कभी चाइना की बात करेगा। तो एक के बाद एक झूठ बोल रहा है।
मगर इस बार नहीं निकल पाएगा।
कांग्रेस के शहजादे इतने चिंतित है कि आए दिन उनको मोदी का अपमान करने में मजा आता है। बहुत सारे लोग चिंता जताते हैं कि भाई ये भाषा अच्छी नहीं है। ऐसी भाषा देश के प्रधानमंत्री के लिए बोलना ठीक नहीं है। आपको पता है वे नामदार है, हम तो कामदार हैं, और नामदार तो कामदार को सदियों से ऐसे ही गाली गलौज करते आए हुए हैं।
Let me tell you, in America, there is an inheritance tax. So if, let's say, one has $100 million worth of wealth, and when he dies, he can only transfer probably 45% to his children. 55% is grabbed by government.
Despite his denial, this remark by Rahul Gandhi's advisor Sam Pitroda has sparked a massive face-off in thick of Lok Sabha polls. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, the other big political talking point this election season, and it's been one that a lot of questions have been asked about the India bloc's face and the PM face. Now, Prime Minister Modi has now added a whole new twist to that entire question, claiming that the India bloc has a strategy of 1 year, 1 PM. Essentially, like the Prime Minister post, will be a rotational post among the India bloc allies. Now, while he's taken a dig essentially at every single political leader, part of the India bloc with that particular comment, you had the Prime Minister saying that this is scary, that opposition parties are thinking about such a plan. He accused the opposition of auctioning the Prime Minister's chair and called the proposal a daydream of leaders who all want to become the Prime Minister of the country. Now, you've got a number of reactions that have come in on this. Uddhav Sena has lashed out at Modi, saying that he's scared of the leaders of India bloc. Sanjay Raut said that they will go ahead and look at fresh faces as well, unlike the BJP, who's reliant on one face. Let's get to what the Prime Minister said, following which we'll get to all the reactions from the India bloc.
ये लोग तो बता दिए भाई मोदी है, बताओ आपको देना है तो ये मोदी है, दीजिए। कहा कि नहीं कहा? आपके सामने नाम है ना, दूसरी तरफ नाम ही नहीं है। इतना बड़ा देश किसको देना, इसका देश को पता होना चाहिए कि नहीं होना चाहिए? जरा बोलो ना, पता होना चाहिए कि नहीं होना चाहिए? आपको पता है वो किसको देना चाहते हैं? पता है किसी को? इसका जवाब ढूंढ रहे थे, जवाब मिल नहीं रहा था, लेकिन अभी कुछ मीडिया रिपोर्ट में आया है कि मोदी बार बार पूछ रहा है कि भाई बताओ तुम्हारा नेता कौन, किसको सुपुर्द करे। तो बोलते हैं उन्होंने फॉर्मूला बनाई है, उन्होंने फॉर्मूला बनाई है कि कौन प्रधानमंत्री बनेगा। कहा जा रहा है कि ये लोग 1 ईयर 1 PM फॉर्मूला बना रहे हैं, यानी 1 साल 1 PM, दूसरे साल दूसरा PM, तीसरे साल तीसरा PM, चौथे साल चौथा PM, 5वें साल 5वां PM। बताओ भाई क्या होगा देश का? ये मुंगेरी लाल के हसीन सपने कहावत कह करके सो जाने वाला मुद्दा नहीं है।
जो एक है उससे तो अच्छा होगा, जितने भी होंगे हमारे 5, 6, 1, 2। लेकिन मैं आपसे बता दूं, जब कभी भी इस तरह की परिस्थितियां बनी हैं, यहाँ की जनता ने वोट भी दिया है और प्रधानमंत्री भी अच्छे दिए हैं। तो सवाल ये नहीं कि कौन प्रधानमंत्री बनेगा, सवाल ये कि देश को नया प्रधानमंत्री मिलना चाहिए।
Over to news coming in also on what's dominating Karnataka politics, because remember that 14 of the 28 seats go to polls tomorrow in phase 2. And while the Prime Minister in many of his campaigns hasn't really been focusing on Karnataka, whether it's in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, he's been raking up one issue from Karnataka, the Muslim quota, and has lashed out at the Congress repeatedly, saying this is the model that they brought in Karnataka, that they want to bring across the country, of ensuring quota for Muslims at the cost cost of Dalits, at the cost of OBCs. Now you've had Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and even the Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy hitting back at Prime Minister Modi. Siddaramaiah particularly highlighting that it was way back in 1995 under Deve Gowda that the Muslim quota actually became a reality in Karnataka.
Fight over Muslim quota in Karnataka reignites. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lambasted the Congress on Thursday in his election speeches, accusing it of giving OBC status to Muslims in Karnataka. Prime Minister Modi claimed the Congress is snatching rights of the OBCs and wants the Karnataka model across India.
कांग्रेस ने शिक्षा और सरकारी नौकरी में पहले जिन ओबीसी लोगों को आरक्षण मिलता था, उस ओबीसी समाज में इतने सारे नए डाल दिए कि ओबीसी समाज को जो आरक्षण मिलता था वो उनसे छीन लिया। कांग्रेस की चले तो गरीब कल्याण की योजनाओं का लाभ भी धर्म के आधार पर देती, क्योंकि कांग्रेस तो डंके की चोट पर यही कहती है कि देश के संसाधनों पर पहला हक मुसलमानों का है।
Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah responded to Prime Minister's attack, saying his remarks stemmed from ignorance. The CM pointed out that it was BJP's current ally Deve Gowda who implemented Muslim reservation in the state.
ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವು ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು ಹಾಗೆ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಕೂಡ 4% ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಮುಂದುವರಿತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರೇ ಅಂಡರ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಅಫಿಡವಿಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Adding fuel to the fire, Telangana CM Revanth Reddy claimed the BJP will scrap reservation by 2025.
ఆర్ఎస్ఎస్ యొక్క భావజాలము, బీజేపీ యొక్క విధానము ఈ దేశంలో ఉన్న రిజర్వేషన్లను రద్దు చేయడమే. ఈ ఎస్సీ ఎస్టీ ఓబీసీ రిజర్వేషన్లు రద్దు చేయాలంటే 400 సీట్లు కావాలి. 2/3 మెజారిటీతోని లోక్సభ రాజ్యసభలో ఈ బిల్లును ఆమోదింపజేసి అన్ని రాష్ట్రాల మీద ఒత్తిడి తీసుకొచ్చి రిజర్వేషన్లను రద్దు చేయడానికి భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ కుట్ర చేస్తుంది.
It all began in 1975 when a report was submitted to then Devraj Ur's government in Karnataka saying Muslims were eligible for quota. In 1979, Devraj Ur's government included Muslims in backward list. In 1994, Veerappa Moily-led Congress government included Muslims in special backward list and introduced 6% Muslim quota. However, the Supreme Court scrapped this quota and fixed a 50% cap on quota. The Moily government collapsed in 1994 due to a political crisis. In 1995, CM H.D. Deve Gowda brought back the Muslim quota. In 2023, the BJP government led by Basavaraj Bommai moved to abolish the Muslim quota in the middle of state elections. But the SC came down heavily on the move, forcing the Bommai government to maintain status quo.
Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has hit out, stating that his NDA partner and former Prime Minister Deve Gowda had implemented the 4% reservation for Muslim in the state of Karnataka. And even the historical facts shows that it was notified by Veerappa Moily government, but it was implemented by then Chief Minister Deve Gowda's JDS government. With Erosion's Madhu Sagairaj reporting for India Today, Bengaluru.
Meanwhile, you've had the Election Commission taking cognizance of multiple complaints against Prime Minister Modi and against Rahul Gandhi over their speeches that have been made in the last few days. Taking cognizance, a notice has been sent across over the speeches of Prime Minister Modi and Rahul Gandhi, but not to them. The notice has been sent across to the respective party chiefs, to the BJP and Congress party chiefs. So these notices have been sent across to JP Nadda and to Mallikarjun Kharge, where the EC has sought responses by 11 a.m. on April 29th from the BJP party chief and from the Congress party chief. Now, the Election Commission has asserted that the leadership, the top brass's words have dire consequences and that star campaigners need to behave while delivering speeches in political rallies. The Election Commission's action comes after both the BJP and the Congress filed complaints over religious speeches being delivered in these rallies.